Hello everybody, thank you for joining me for this meeting. I know it's a little bit on short notice, but don't you worry, we're gonna get through this quickly. I wanted to let you know that we're all gonna freaking die. Unless, of course, you make the right choices. Oh no, this playthrough I'm gonna make sure all of you die. Why is everyone looking at me like that? Video games are a very fascinating media because not only do you have the opportunity to see an amazing story or an amazing set of characters interact, you, the player, get the chance to actually take part in this story. And in some cases, you get to decide how those kind of things end. But more often than not, a lot of these stories have you playing a character and going through the story, and that's the story itself. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, and Spider-Man 3. But you know what? Some of my favorite video game endings of all time come down to those where I had a hand in choosing how it ended. Those video games that give the players the opportunity to make choices that directly affect every little beat and skip in the story. Whether it's a main character death or maybe it's a path and a branching path of storylines. Video games that offer those interactive endings really make the player feel so invested in it. And honestly, that's why I wanted to talk about one video game in particular today. In fact, just this one video game's ending mission. And that game for me is Mass Effect 2. This game is so freaking epic. It is a very long video game that you get a chance to meet tons of awesome characters and honestly visit a ton of amazing planets. And I remember playing this game so many times through back in high school. Because as you know, with this interactive adventure, there are so many paths that you can go down, and I wanted to find them all. But in order to talk about why I think that this ending is so great, we need to actually go into the final mission of this game. The final mission known as the suicide mission. YouTube, please don't demonetize me. I am begging you. It's the name of the mission. Don't. Come on. God dang it. But before I go into any story details, I want you to know that this is a spoiler warning for Mass Effect 2. So let me go ahead and get you a little caught up on where we are to this point in the series. Mass Effect 2's ending takes place after Mass Effect 1 ending. Check out this guy. Look how smart he is. Shut up. And the whole idea of this is that a huge ancient species is coming to wipe out humanity as well as the entire galaxy. They are known as the Reapers. And over the course of this game, we find out that the Reapers are actually using an ancient species known as the Collectors as a massive operation to capture humans and use them for their next plans. You play as this man named Shepard, whose whole mission is to gather a group of ragtag team members, the best in the galaxy, together and go to this base to destroy the Collectors. You following me? See, this is why you gotta play the game, god dang it! So as Shepard gathers this ragtag team, you start to know these individuals, you start to learn who they are, and you start trying to gain their loyalty. Every single character that you recruit on your team has what's called a loyalty mission. The loyalty mission is directly connected to how the ending can go for said character in the final mission. Wait, Joe, what do you mean by it can affect how they go in their mission? But you see, this is my ace in the hole. The whole Mass Effect series is completely interactive, which means that you make choices that directly affect this person, this plot point, or the whole beat of the game. Over the course of this game, you can actually choose people's fates on whether they live or whether they die. It's heavy stuff! And that's what leads me into what this final mission is. In this mission, you're going to be going to places that no one has ever survived before. The Collector's base. There's been attempts, but there's never been anyone that's gone through successfully. So yes, you have a choice-based game. You have amazing characters that have the opportunity to live or die, and you also have the game's willingness to let you choose to do what happens in this game. Holy crap, the grand scale of this mission is entirely visible to the player at this point. Now, what makes this video game mission so epic? Well, the thing is, the mission's conclusion leads to the ending of the game. So let's say that you're ready. You're the player, you have your controller in hand, and you're like, let's freaking do this. Oh boy, I can't wait to play this mission. It's gonna be so good. This is the PlayStation 4 controller. Don't even at me. So after you click start, it is now officially time for you and your team to go through what is the highway equivalent in this galaxy, otherwise known as a relay. This relay is what connects you from the outside world and this collector base. And the music in this scene is so freaking awesome.
Brace for deceleration.
Too close.
But you may be thinking that you're about to head into some gameplay, but no, you're about to be introduced to some of the choices that you made throughout the course of the game, including, especially here, the upgrades that you made to your ship. Over the course of this game, you could have bought upgrades that helped your ship out. An armor upgrade, a gun upgrade, and also like an engine upgrade. As you watch this cutscene, you realize the effects that you had on this scene itself. If you bought all the upgrades that these characters actually told you about, then all of these characters will be fine. No one will actually end up dying. But if you didn't,
EKG has flatlined. She is dead. Legion did not survive. I am sorry, Chip. They got Thane.
as early as 5 minutes into this mission, you can lose 3 people. That is insane. And if that does happen to the player, they feel terrible about it. Oh crap, I should have bought those upgrades. I should have done it. But the mission has to go on. Those deaths aren't lingered upon. You have a mission to do, and it's your purpose to do this because everyone knew what was gonna happen as they went through this gate. There was a chance no one could have made it out alive. But if you're a player that actually took that initiative and bought all of those upgrades, you'll see the effects of your good work implemented here.
Damage report.
Kinetic barrier steady at 30%. No significant damage.
The characters mentioned all that armor held up, all that engine kept its cool, all that gun just destroyed that collector.
How do you like that, you sons of bitches?
Oh, it's so cool! And every single one of them could have had a negative effect and it had a positive effect. But so far, no matter what with the mission that's happened so far, you feel the effects of it as the player. You either feel really proud or you feel really like kind of, I could have done better. And this whole feeling goes out throughout the entire rest of this mission. Because silly player, did you think that these were the only effects that would be had in this final mission and this ending? Nah. You're horribly mistaken. My name's not horribly mistaken. My name is Josh. Shut the face facts. You have to admit that this point in the game is so freaking epic. I mean, I can't gush about this game enough because I just really love this game and also this ending. Yes, I do classify this whole last mission as the technical ending of the game because especially in a choice-driven thing, this is what all your choices have been leading to. So this is in fact the ending that you're looking for. But so we continue down this suicide mission. After getting into the base itself, you as the commander of this team have to make choices for where each of these team members are gonna be going. Are you gonna have this person lead the team leaders? Are you gonna have this person crawl through the vent and do some hacking? I don't know, it's up to you, the player. And the greatest thing about these choices that you make here, they don't feel like empty choices. They don't feel like choices that can be taken lightly. Because as you were playing this game, you learned a lot of these characters' skills. You're standing with these people whose lives are in your hands. And as the commander, they're looking to you for leadership. Hey commander, we need to make this choice here. Commander, we need to make another choice here. Commander, we need to make a choice. Who are you people? And I don't know about you all when you first played this game, but I actually just sat there for a little bit thinking, okay, you might make a good leader. I've seen how you acted outside of this building. I've seen you be a really bad leader. So you're off the mark, so I X them out. And then I just go through this list, individual by individual, listing the pros and cons on what it could mean for this team if they fail. Because if they're not good enough, they might die or someone else might die. So as you make these choices, you finalize them and it's time to do the full suicide mission because this whole mission is about an hour and probably 15 to 20 minutes long. So an hour and 20 minutes long, a full, just solid mission point that you need to get to the end. This mission is hyped up and not for no reason. So you go through this mission step by step, point by point, plot development by plot development. And if you didn't choose the right person for hacking here, that person will die. It certainly feels like the epic ending of a video game that it deserved. But let's say you happen to make all the right choices. You happen to make sure that each of these people are in the places that they need to be. Oh! Foreshadowing, was that you there the entire time? You know how I mentioned the loyalty missions earlier? Well, based on whether you completed those or not, even if those people are in the right places at the right time, they will die. I mean, there's nothing that you can do to stop that other than actually doing their mission to gain their trust and get their abilities up to the highest. And when I first played it, I didn't complete probably 3 or 4 of the loyalty missions, and I paid for it. Some of my favorite characters died because I made a bad choice of not doing their mission. I can't remember if I just had forgotten to do it or maybe there was a time crunch that I just wanted, I need to get to this mission. I want to do this mission. There's an epic reason why I need to do this mission, but I didn't do them and those characters died. Every single one of the characters has a loyalty mission that would potentially bring them out of the moment of the final mission. Do they have deep thoughts about their family that's getting in the way of them being able to actually do this task that you sent them out to do? Well, yes. God, every single one of the deaths hurt, honestly, because you spend so much time with these characters. But anyway, I'm getting caught up in the actual details of the mission itself. I need to actually get to why the ending's awesome. So you continue through this mission, making some choices along the way, and seeing the effects of the choices that you made during the council meeting in the ship. Characters die, characters live, characters decide that they might not die. Are you gonna die? Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, you better be fine. You're one of my favorite characters. Now, I do want to just get to the point where I can tell you why I think this ending is so amazing. I'm pretty sure you figured it out by now why, but let's go ahead and continue it during this mission, and we'll get to that very, very soon, I promise. So you go out through this mission, and you get to the final boss, where you learn that all of the humans that have been getting captured, like your crew members, we're getting turned into like synthetic human glue and getting pumped into a human version of the main antagonist of the entire story, the Reapers. So you defeat that boss. It's pretty easy boss, honestly. But once you defeat it, you are now off the controller, basically. At this point, you are now at the mercy of the real ending of this game. And based on how you've been doing at the beginning, the middle, and the end of this mission, you, as the player, may not survive this. If a majority of your team members die, you, the player, will not make it out of there alive. You will end up getting to the very edge of surviving, but then you'll fall. And that's the end of your story at this point. The game doesn't care though. It keeps going, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now let's say a majority of your team members survive. You will end up doing this ending scene and you will survive and go out and probably the most epic music-centric moment I've ever seen in a video game before. And I mean ever. I've never felt more holy freaking crap than this moment here.
Hold on!
Awesome. I can't get over this. I can't get over this freaking ending. It's so epic. It's so beautiful. It's so player driven. So whether you survived or not, let's just assume here that you did survive. You end up going back to the main base and talking to the head honcho of this entire mission called the Elusive Man. We won't go into major details on who he is because we're not really talking about Mass Effect as a whole. We're mostly just talking about the ending. But for just all intents and purposes, this man is the guy who funded this whole operation. And Shepard, being the main awesome guy that he is, he decides to go against this financial guy. Shepard says, hey, I'm gonna go out and do my own thing. You can be kind of an evil guy sometimes, so we're not gonna work with you no more. Shepard, oot! He's not actually Canadian, but I just made him Canadian, so Shepard, oot! So comes more the fruits of your labor, because here at this scene, you get to see all the team members' caskets that died. It's kind of morbid. But if you go through it and none of them died, you'll get a scene with like people walking through the aisles saying, hey, Shepard, we're all alive here, everything's good to go. Or you'll get a moment to look at all the caskets and be like, paying respects to them. Press F to pay respect. You know how I mentioned that the Reapers are the main antagonists of this story? This last scene has some of the most awesome music playing while shadows of the Reaper coming towards the Milky Way. And then it cuts. Black screen, you are there, and you're sitting with your jaw dropped. Holy, and you're just like, oh my God, that was so awesome. But why was it so awesome? What made this ending feel so validating and so freaking epic? Well, that's the whole point of this video, and that's why you clicked. Unless you just clicked it for the personality of the Jawunleashed. But I think that I can actually sum it up in one distinctive phrase: choices and consequences. Throughout this entire game, the game wants you to know that, hey, your choices do matter, and these choices that you make can and will get people killed. You are the commander of this team, and the choices that you made as that commander got this person killed, made this person survive, and honestly just decided the fate of the galaxy. And whether you survived and saved your whole team, or whether this was legitimately a suicide mission where only like one person came back alive, your crew member, by the way, the flyer of the ship, played by Seth Green, by the way. I just think that's an interesting fact. And with those endings really flowing together and not feeling like one is more substantial than the other, every single player's ending has the same effect without taking away from their experience. But the whole idea of giving these players choices and giving these players the effects of those choices makes this ending the greatest video game ending that I have ever seen. Would this ending be just as epic if it was just a static mission that didn't have choices or consequences? Honestly, probably not. It would still be an amazing ending. I mean, the music's fantastic, the acting is beautiful, and just everything just flows together really well. But what makes this video game ending the greatest ending I have ever personally seen is because of the whole idea of choices and consequences. You can go through an entire 30-hour game or something like that and enjoy these characters, enjoy this plot, enjoy all of the moments that happen throughout this game. But I just think that the choices that you make and the choices that you see actually having the effect of the story all the way through just makes this ending what it is. Is The Last of Us ending bad because you didn't have a choice on what happened near the end? No. I see you lurking, and I'm not gonna say anything about you. Stop getting closer. Stop it. Stop. Ah! There's nothing wrong with having a static ending, but having these choices in this game specifically made it so much higher than any other game that I have ever played. But yes, that is why I think that Mass Effect 2's ending is the greatest of all time. Everything about it, the orchestra, the plot, the characters, the moments, just everything just flows together so well. Screw Mass Effect Andromeda. This trilogy, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, this is where my heart for Mass Effect lies, and I think that 2 has the greatest ending of all time. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate it. Why is no one in here? This is garbage. I gave a whole talk for this and no one's here. I hate it here. But yes, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really do appreciate you letting me rant about my favorite video game ending of all time. Thanks for letting me rant about stuff just in general. I mean, I don't usually rant. It's more of a, discussion kind of thing. But let me know what you think about this ending. Let me know if you've played Mass Effect. If you haven't, what do you think about the details I did give about it in this video? Let me know what you think in the comments. Whatever you have any sort of suggestions on, feel free to leave them below. And if you like what you've seen here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to follow me on the Twitter, because I like the Twitter. Thank you all again. I appreciate it, and you all stay awesome. I think that the only time I've ever died in the Mass Effect 2 ending is whenever I chose to die. Like I was like, I'm gonna kill everyone on this team.